Welcome to the stream. Hi, I'm Matthew. I'm one of the co-hosts of Book Club for Masochists, a reader's advisory podcast. A podcast in which every month we choose a new randomly selected genre and have to read books from that genre, whether we like it or not. And then we discuss things, we discuss the books we read, appeal factors, and other related topics as friends and library workers. Everyone who is a co-host on the show is a librarian. That's, I guess, the thing, the second hook of the podcast. Anyway, in addition, we've covered everything from gardening to erotic romance, true crime to alternative history. And we sometimes do formats as well. A format could be something like an audiobook, an ebook. I had another good example the other day and I just cannot remember it now. But we added visual novels to the list of formats recently. And visual novel is not what we usually cover on the podcast. It is much more like game-like than we usually do. But it is a primarily text-based narrative thing, and so we decided to add it. And of course, because that's the way random number generators work, it was immediately the first thing that got rolled on the dice after we added it. So today it is a spooky, I don't know how spooky this game is going to be, a spooky stream. So I'm playing a Mortician's Tale, and I think it's actually less spooky and more real in some ways. This one's kind of exciting to play. I'm looking forward to it. And I guess if you want to check out the podcast, I should add as well, you can find Book Club for Masochists on any podcast app, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all of those places, or you can go to bookclub4m.com. The 4 is the numeral, so the key on your keyboard. And without further ado, let's get into this. And if you want to check out our episode about visual novels, that will be out in September. So A Mortician's Tale, let's get started. Start new game. September 14th, 10:15 a.m. Oh, neat. Like a kind of isometric style. I knew that this game would be mostly purple, and so I went with purple eyeshadow today. Let's see what my email is about here. Hello and welcome to our new funeral director. From Matthew Jeffrey to Charlie. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet ya. My name's Matthew and I'm mainly... That's funny. It's weird to read something saying my name's Matthew when my name is in fact Matthew. I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to ya and helps with some of the more heavy lifting. Ever heard that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when I come by in a bit. I do not like this person for using ya in email so much. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy is a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. Yeah. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck. Matthew J., funeral director, Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home. And then below, we've got one from Amy. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new funeral director, Charlotte, or Charlie, as I'm told she likes to be referred to. Charlie is a recent graduate who came highly recommended and is eager to begin her career here with us at Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home. Please take the time to make Charlie feel at home within our little family. We'll have a nice catered lunch this afternoon so we can all get to know each other a little better as well. So that's the founder and director of Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home. Let's check this one. Well, you're new here. Instructions. Well, you're new here, so it's probably best I explain everything. In your office preparation room, you'll find your cremation station, cremulator station. I don't even know what that is. Embalming station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. I know you've experienced working with these stations, but please let me know if you have any questions. From Jen Love. Good luck, you beautiful and smart babe you. I guess my subject line to you should start being more professional now that we are business professionals. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you were able to, that's the most important thing, the email signature, definitely. I love that you were able to land this gig straight after graduating. Oh my gosh, that's the dream, isn't it? For everyone who graduates, getting a job in their area field right away. It sounds super cool. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until now. Guess it's just not something I really think that much about. I should look more into this, learn more about your work, your world, and industry, because I said you're now a very serious professional. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe someone paid me to move to London, and not London, Ontario, serial killer capital of Canada. Is that the serial killer capital of Canada? I have no idea. I've never heard that about London, Ontario, but who knows? To work in a museum. Like, take that, everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face and that you'll hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I signed you up for a funeral's monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift. I love you / am super proud of you gift. Love you. Jen L. Less than 3 museum curator. Today's tasks. Oh, there's so many emails in this. Hope you settled in okay. So far, Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said you were really friendly, and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Your first body is Mrs. Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family had asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body preparation is necessary. The family seems a little bit more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things easier. That's possible? That being said, although you will not be embalming Miss Garcia, I do think it's important to take the time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I'd like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Miss Garcia in the prep room. And then, of course, we will happily... Oh, wait. So, special requests... Okay, so this is the forwarded version. Right, okay. So the original one is, we're happy to be with Rose and daughter for my mother's funeral. We understand that your usually procedures followed. Do not embalm my mother. That would be greatly appreciated. Closed casket. She wouldn't want her death to have any negative impact on the environment. Cool, okay. And then, of course, we will be happy to oblige your request for no embalming and for a closed casket. I'll ensure our funeral director receives your request. So let's reply with... Sure thing, I'll get right to it, because I think that's the only one I can't reply with. Oh, didn't read my newsletter. Guess I gotta go over here right away? Or can I read that newsletter still? Okay, Funeral Monthly, tips for good etiquette. Thanks for subscribing. Each month we bring you a newsletter featuring a topic pertaining to the death industry. This month is all about good etiquette for attending a funeral. I really can't believe we have to write this one out, but since we said we'll answer your most popular questions. Here we are, because this is definitely one of the most popular questions. Funerals are a hard time, and we understand that, but there are some quick and easy rules to remember for being respectful at a funeral. Generally, following the guidelines of don't be a jerk. Don't be an jerk. Should work. Don't be on your cell phone. Don't be loud and obnoxious. Yep. Don't get drunk. Oh, yeah, probably don't do that. Happily reminisce. Remember happy things. Give condolences. Dress appropriately. This will change based on the customs of the deceased and their culture, but always dress in a way that shows respect. Give a gift or sign the registration book. Okay, so now let's go close this and go do the tasks. So let's go over to this body. I can't imagine having my desk right next to a dead body. That seems terrifying. This is the prep room where you will prepare bodies for burials and viewings. Because the family has requested a closed casket ceremony with no embalming, you're just going to clean the body. Click on the sponge and drag it over the body to clean. What action? That's the cotton balls. No, this one. Sponge. Oh, let me tell you, this is kind of annoying to do with a trackpad. Great, that's it, you're done. Miss Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of dressing and putting her in the casket. It's time to go to Mrs. Garcia's funeral. You're responsible for taking care of the deceased body, but it is also important to pay your respects to the loved ones. Follow the arrow to head to the funeral parlor. Let's go. Oh wow, everyone's here already. My first thought is like, it's like everyone is dressed in black, so it's like some weird, awkward goth office party. That really says more about me than anything else. Okay, let's go click on, oh, we can click on the individual people or the casket. Let's try this person. Do we talk to them? She would have hated these paintings. She was so particular. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them, I guess. That's heavy sigh, I guess. Okay, let's just go to it. I wonder if anyone here knows who I am. Okay, that doesn't seem to do anything. Nope. Okay, let's try talking to this person. We usually don't small talk a lot at these things. At least that's what I was always taught. I guess this is Matthew? How about these people? I hate wearing pantyhose. My legs are so itchy, but it's always so cold in these funeral homes. You could wear pants? I think I might actually miss those sweaters she used to knit for me now. Small child. Mommy, I'm hungry. Where can we go? There's food over here on the table. It looks like there's sandwiches and tea and cakes or something. Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law, but I guess not? Embalming weirds me out. Do those chemicals leach into the ground? It seems strange to me to be using chemicals that is known to cause cancer and putting it into the ground like that. It seems really weird. I think I would prefer not to be embalmed, personally. Or into the sewer. That's what they must do with the leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain? I'm pretty sure they don't. At least embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive. Ugh. Stop it. Don't make me laugh right now. Okay, can I just leave again? Guess so. October 11th, 10:09 a.m. More emails. I'm cleaning my work area, but let's check my emails. Like, I appreciate the animation, but also waiting for the character to walk around is kind of annoying. Okay. From Jennifer Valentine. I am so frustrated RN right now. So let me explain this a bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the tight lacer's liver specimen we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tapered inwards from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing on her corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associated with fainting or hysteria, sigh, it's actually been associated with a word I cannot pronounce, which is when the organs fail to fall to the lower part of the abdomen, right? Which is super unsettling, but can also be caused by being pregnant. So, too long didn't read. Corsets probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal organ damage. I'm tired of being the condescension about my wardrobe that also implies I don't know what I'm doing. These are the kinds of things I specifically research, and I'm treated like I know nothing. I'm having a day, Charlie. From Jen. What else? I'm reading these all in reverse order. Can I rant for just a second? I'm so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anyone, cough, male colleagues, cough, get on my case for wearing corsets. I wear them under my blazer and over a nice blouse, so it's not like I'm dressing inappropriately, even though dress codes are such sexist BS anyway. And like, I hate how their misogyny gets veiled in faux concern. Jen, I'm just worried you're damaging your body. You know that what corsets do to livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condescension is hurting my head. Ugh, sorry, I'm out of sorts right now. I'll send you another email in a little bit when I've cooled off a bit. I think corsets are sexist bullshit, but probably for different reasons that Jennifer does. I find them very frustrating because the amount of clothes that masculine clothes that are allowed is usually very limited. So I find them very frustrating in that way. Okay, funerals monthly. What to wear when attending a funeral from a different culture. Let's see. Roman Catholic funerals tend to be more formal. This goes back to the days of the Roman Empire when people would wear black as a symbol of mourning. Black isn't universally a symbol for mourning, though, and if you're attending a funeral that is from a culture that is not our own, it's important to understand this. For example, in Hinduism and in Chinese cultures, white is a typical color for funerals. For Islam, though, it is less about the color you're wearing and more about how modestly you're dressed. Refrain from wearing any elaborate jewelry and be respectful of your behavior. For Sikh funerals, color of the clothing isn't as important as dressing modestly and being able to appropriately sit cross-legged. If you're attending to support a friend, family, or partner, this day is not about you, so be sure to do whatever you can to be as respectful and supportive as possible, even if that means not wearing what you're used to wearing at a funeral, or even if it just means asking how you can appropriately show your respects. Matthew Jeffrey. Okay. A story about death. I was driving around the other day, talking about clients on their last trip around town, and taking our clients, and I was thinking, strange, I know. Did I ever tell you the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager, about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed in a car accident. Totally out of the blue. Really tragic stuff. Messed me and my friends up real good. But, so the big day, we were all got into our best suits and dresses, and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, While we're in the procession going to the cemetery, someone in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out some asshat who doesn't know how to not get in the way of her profession drove through the intersection and smashed straight into her friend's car. Nobody was hurt, thank God, but can you imagine getting that call? Anyways, one of my friends is in the same car as me. The one who got the phone call hung up and started laughing, just laughing her ass off in the way that makes you not sure if you're really just crying or if they've gone fully off the deep end. And she laughed, and then we all started giggling because, go figure, life is messed up sometimes, There's no moral, no point to that story, I guess. I just remember that story and wanted to tell you. Because we work with death all the time, and I still sometimes get caught off guard by what it actually means. Oh, before you get any ideas, this has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came after, and it's nothing unremarkable. Somebody has to do it, and I have a strong stomach, so why not? I'll see you in a bit. Okay. From Amy Rose. So this is a forward, so let's see if I can go down and read the first one. From Mia Garcia. Please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for the wonderful job that you did with our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in. Getting to share home-cooked meals, sharing stories, being there together, it means a lot. So what I'm saying, it was nice for everyone to be there like that, together in that way. And I know how much of that was due to your work of your staff, especially your funeral director. Thank you for making a difficult time easier for all of us. Just passing this message along. I didn't realize that there was a website here. Okay, so here's Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home. Their website's terrible. Oh, I guess it doesn't need to be that good. I wonder if they actually own the roseanddaughters.com website address. Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home was founded by my grandparents back in 1956. The Rose family has proudly served the area since then, providing personal, affordable funeral services for all. I'm proud to have carried on my family's business for the last 36 years, working with the best and brightest funeral directors and grief counselors in the area. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you've recently experienced a loss and would like us to help you through this hard time. Here at Rose and Daughter's Funeral Home, we're committed to providing loved ones with the best and most affordable funeral services in the area. We offer a diverse range of personalized services. So, burial with open casket, closed casket. Whoa, these are so expensive. My gosh, $6,000 for an open casket ceremony. I hope no one ever pays that much for me. I don't think... I guess if it gives people peace of mind, it's fine, but, that just seems like a lot of money that a lot of people cannot afford. Cremation with ceremony and reception. Direct burial with no cremation, ceremony or reception. Direct cremation with no ceremony or reception, $600. We also offer custom packages to suit every budget and need. Please do not hesitate. Pricey. Okay. So I think we can go to the next job. Here are the instructions for your next body. You did a remarkable job on your first one, and the family was very happy. No small feat, of course. Pleasing a grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable of jobs. The next job is a man named Mr. Duval, an elderly man, died of old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter, Lizzie Duval, if you have any questions. She's handled her father's passing as well as can be expected. As always, don't hesitate to ask me any questions. P.S. Charlie, dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much. Well, just a little. Ask Matthew, he knows. I'll get right on it. So it looks like I'm in the proper embalming gear. Let's head over to here. Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Let's start by cleaning the body. So the sponge. Yeah. Okay, click on the razor and drag it over the body to shave it. How much of the body do I shave? If only shaving in real life was this easy. Just gonna wave a razor around random. Seems like it'd be so weird. In order to break rigor mortis, you have to massage the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it. Anything? No. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to click and drag. Massage the body. Okay, what have I got? I've got eye caps, glue, needle, cotton balls, lotion, scalpel, cannula, tubing, trocar, embalming fluid? I really don't feel... Oh. That was not well explained. Also, as I said before, doing this with a trackpad sucks. If I'd known that I needed a mouse for this, I might not have played it. Most visual novels are so text-based that basically all you have to do is click on an option. The eyeballs deflate once the body starts decomposing. That's terrifying. Click and drag an eye cap into each eye socket to give it shape. Boop. And boop. Okay. To keep the eyes shut, you'll need to glue them. Click and drag glue to keep each eye shut. Glue eye 1, glue eye 2. The mouth sags and hollows once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag a cotton ball into the mouth to give it shape. So weird. To keep the mouth from opening, you'll need to suture it shut. Click and drag the needle and thread. Okay. Do they not... is this not noticeable? Like, I know I'm not an expert in this. Click and drag the lotion over the body to moisturize it. This prevents the skin from drying out. I don't see why anyone cares about this, to be totally honest. It seems really weird that, like, no one's gonna see under the clothes, so I'm not sure why I would do this. I don't know. Embalming involves removing blood and replacing with preserving chemicals. Click and drag the scalpel over the neck to make an incision. Gruesome. Ooh, okay. You're gonna need a tube for draining blood, right? Tube goes in. Click on the cannula and drag it into the carotid artery. You can tell that I am not good at biology. Any sort of things. So that's this thing, right? The cannula? Okay. To the artery. Is that here? Looks like it. Grab some additional tubing and drag it to the cannula. Here. No. Oh, there we go. Okay, click the button on the embalming machine to turn it on. In order to evenly distribute the chemicals, you'll have to massage them through the body. Click and drag through the body to massage it. Can I start at the top? Yes. Okay. Blood goes, embalming goes in, blood comes out. Kind of creepy. Diagonally. Still finding this really obnoxious. On a trackpad. One final one, I hope. Nope, one more. Okay, this has got to be the last one, I hope. Oh no, another diagonal one. Cool. This is taking quite some time. I guess it takes time in real life as well, but didn't expect to be doing this long. Okay, sew up that incision with the needle and thread. 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost done. You need to drain the organs of any removing fluid. Click on the trocar and then click and hold on the abdomen until all liquid has been drained. What's the trocar? This thing? Trocar. Boop. Oh, weird. Okay, that's one done. I wonder what organs these are. Like, I literally have no idea what they could be. Like, kidney? Liver? Oh, apparently I didn't drain this one enough. Spleen? What other organs are there? Bladder? And you're done. Mike will take care of Mr. Duval's makeup, as well as dressing and putting him in the casket. It's time to attend the funeral. Do I have to? Okay. You can probably tell that I do not have a lot of experience with funerals. I have attended one thing that was not a funeral that had a body in it. But that was it. Okay, let's talk to these folks, I guess. Oh, this one is open. Good. Come on. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, 1 minute you're laughing, having fun, and the next, poof, that person is gone. Just like, gone. Yeah, it's weird to think about for too long. Like staring at the sun. I start to feel all dizzy when I think about it. So weird how our bodies just stop working like that. It is very weird. Yeah. Okay, and now these people. I like the dress my character's wearing. It's very cute. So strange. Not. That's probably not the best thing to say in this game, to be totally honest. Oh, I'm bizarre. So strange. I'm not seeing most people wearing white. White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. I can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional funerals, so mostly white, but like definitely not red, no matter what. Okay, and then these folks. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. He loved playing catch. He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. And then this guy is on his phone or a game console, humming to himself, and different music. And let's check the body. Okay. And now I'm done. Off I go. December 2nd. So I've been at this job for a few months now. More emails. You'd think by this point I might have put up some of my own decorations, but maybe this person doesn't like to decorate their office that much. Okay. Hello, Charlie. Today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Okay. Funerals monthly. LGBTQ funerals respect. If you've been a long-time subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are, at times, subjected to during funerals. Yeah. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families and have had their hair cut, are buried under the wrong names, and subjected to the wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. That is really shitty. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care. And this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased wishes as per their lived experiences. The CDC's Funeral Director Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers the fraud directive. Enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspection of the body, or other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave the item blank. Leaving it up to observation, obviously, enters into a world of issues since bodies can be so different, and because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased's gender activity as they lived, so a step in the right direction. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Misgendering in death takes away the respect. It can also inflict hurt and trauma on spouses and friends that survive the deceased. So what can we do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who come into your office. In America, especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws around same-sex marriage, but this doesn't mean that you're not dealing with two people who have loved each other in the same way as another couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. When you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is also to ensure the deceased's relatives the utmost respect in their burial. Okay. Paycheck. Let's go down. This is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and I don't have enough to pay you this week. Uh-oh. Would it be terrible and inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible at this whole thing and I can cut you a check from my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry. I assure this won't happen again. And then that was from Amy to Matthew, and then Matthew forwarded it to me. I don't like to look at this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom and pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent you this. Also, I'm starving, so I'm gonna go grab some fast food before taking the hearse through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone, and swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? Beef and I do not want that. I'm gonna take the hearse through the drive-through, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Matthew seems like a weird dude. The website does not seem to have changed. Did they fix the spelling mistake? I can't remember what it was now. Oh, nope, it still says grief counselors. I want to send an email about that. From Jen. Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know you hate when I try to give you dating advice, but hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried for you. You haven't mentioned anyone new since the breakup of 2014 that will never speak of again after this moment. But you've always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask you about your day. So maybe meeting someone in the industry isn't the worst idea? Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy gothy aesthetics are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom rant over. I'm going to try it out because it turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? I do not know what a teratoma is. Please let me know if you know what a teratoma is. Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who's as much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you. Let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. P.S. If you sign up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for a death industry dating website? Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet, though. And Amy Rose. Thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have him, seeing him off in such a good way. Passing on this lovely thankful note. Okay, and then today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Okay, this is the cremation one. Okay, I'm on it. That is a very personally, I feel this is a very vampire-looking coffin. But again, as I said before, I'm not familiar with this stuff at any level. Before we cremate Mrs. Hall, we need to prepare her body. Mrs. Hall's family brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before the cremation process as to not damage them. Maybe they want them damaged? Let's start by removing Mrs. Hall's necklace. Click and drag the necklace and place it on the tray. We will place the necklace in the urn with Mrs. Hall's remains later. Okay. We need to be able to identify Mrs. Hall's remains after she's been cremated. Click and drag the round identification tag and place it on the coffin. That's this one. Boop. Great. She's set to be cremated now. Then I guess I push the button. Whoa, I do not think I could have an office with a cremation thing in the corner. That seems really weird. And here's the urn that it's in. This is the cremulator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't turn bodies into ash so much as bone fragments. Oh, this is where they get smashed up, right? Using the cremulator, we'll break those bone fragments down into ash-like remains. Let's start by placing the urn in the cremulator. Here. Click and drag the bone fragments and drop them into the top of the cremulator. Yikes. Okay. Good job. Now that the bones have been processed, click and drag the urn back to the counter. Put the necklace back into the urn. Click on the necklace. Okay. In you go. Put the tag in the urn. There we go. And put the lid on the urn. Done. No, apparently not. Done. All done. Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. Back out to the main room. Another event. Let's talk to these folks. This is nice in a weird way. She'd like that we're all here together talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Then over here. Glad she was cremated and not like in an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. This dude. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up, not once. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. I have no idea what sort of funeral I would want. It seems so far away to me. Yeah. Just no ideas whatsoever for that sort of thing. February 14th. Oh, Valentine's Day. Okay, let's check my email today. I wonder if I've gotten a date. Let's stop down here. Keep on protecting Earth with green burials. So, environment, continue to do that in death. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular. The bodies aren't allowed to be embalmed with chemicals. Bodies must be in a biodegradable shroud or casket. Better for the environment, also cheaper. A cemetery in Ontario, a natural burial is just over $1,000. I wonder if that's US or Canadian. Better for the people, the environment, and just not so good for big business. Why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore preserve natural habitats. Yep, that all seems good. A challenger approaches from Jen Love. Charlie, I've been playing a new game when things get slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like, seriously, it's really, really difficult, and I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at that hotel for 3 years. But it must have gotten rusty. Anyway, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves so you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. The main character also kind of looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High scores get to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next. I think the last time I was in London, I went to the Wellcome Medical Museum. And I wonder if the museum that Amy works at is supposed to be based on that. From Ryan Garcia to Amy Rose. Hi, Amy. I know the same email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having problems, I could reach out, and you would know someone I could talk to about this. I just don't know what to do. My grandmother had lived a full, good life and was very happy, and that she's not in any pain now, but I still feel empty. I've never felt empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough with work, and she will try the will and trying to just be the best mom she can. I just need someone to tell me that it'll be okay. Yikes. I didn't think that funeral people had to deal with that sort of thing. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor. Yep, okay. Or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today. Not my usual self, and it would be good for you to start building these kinds of relationships on your own. You're a treasure, Charlie. So am I supposed to email them? So an email, my job, what's this one to say? You asked if there are any special instructions we wanted to pass along with this cremation. Just please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Please see this note about the pacemaker. That it can be tricky. Okay. And here, this is an email from Margaretta Hall. I'm so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate a request for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service. Thank you. Okay, that gets forwarded. News about the future of Rose and Daughter's funeral home. It is with a heavy heart that I write to let you know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and resources I googled told me that would be the best and easiest way to break the ice. Be direct but remorseful. The truth is, I don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done the best to make Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use her services. It is my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways. And you've all become like family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's been getting harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations than we are that can take on more business and offer more impressive services. You know how it goes. So we've been bought, or I sold, either way. Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated, a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name. They're keeping the name Rose and Daughters for tax purposes, though honestly, I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. I don't know how I feel about that. Oops. That seems really shitty. Yep, corporations ruining everything. I also don't know if there's anything else I can do at this point. I've signed the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact, somewhat. They have a good reputation and have agreed to keep you all on. This was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you all weren't without a job. Sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but admittedly, I didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This was easier. Please understand. That is tough. Okay. Let's deal with this pacemaker. Over to the body. Mr. Reyes came directly from the hospital, so we won't have to worry about removing any valuables from him, as his family did not provide any of us to include. However, he has a pacemaker. They're batteries. They will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation, and we definitely don't want that. Let's start by removing his pacemaker. Click the scalpel to make an incision. Boop, boop. You can see the pacemaker. Click on the forceps to drag it out. Weird. Okay. Put the forceps away, then place the round identification tag in the coffin. Yeah. Okay. All set to be cremated now. This game is pretty heavy. I feel like for all of these spooky things, spooky in quotation marks, I've like ended up doing games that were a lot heavier than I intended to some extent. But yeah, okay. Let's use the cremulator. Bone 1. Bone 2. Bone 3. Over here. Token. And the lid on the urn. All done. Okay. Now let's talk to these folks. I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. I can see why this game was really well liked, because I think it talks about a lot of stuff, like the death stuff. Is that something that we as society don't really talk about very much? I always told him to quit smoking, but of course he never listened to me, so that figures. What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere. Sounds good. I could really use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you that time we tailgated? Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No, we talked a few times, but not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn, that's it. Just stubborn. It's really interesting to just kind of overhear these conversations and not really directly talk to anybody. Okay, so 2 weeks later, February 28th. Let me check my email again. Okay, things your voice saying at a funeral. At least you're no longer suffering. At least they're no longer suffering, not you. Were they saved? Oh, do not say that. They're with the angels now? Do not say that. Let me know how I can help. Suggest a specific thing instead of in general. For example, I'm free if you need someone to babysit the kids. Actions are better than passive statements. I know how you feel. Everyone grieves differently. Don't focus this on yourself. Empathy doesn't involve having to commiserate. Yeah. Jen loved mushrooms. You hate mushrooms so much, I found the perfect thing for you. I've been thinking about death. I know, shocker. Look what you've done to me. I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I can't remember the name of it. I'm writing on my phone, so don't feel like Googling it right now. Anyway, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wears. It's made from what people called biomix, i.e. mushrooms and other microorganisms that help to decompose bodies, neutralize toxins in the body, and provide nutrients for the soil for plants. I think this one company even offers casket liners for using green caskets. I think this is what I want. It'll just be like Hannibal. Wait, don't tell people I said that, okay? But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all the death innovation happening. We might as well do something when we're in the ground, you know? Love you. Think about it and let me know your thoughts. I want all of your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. But seriously, I'm probably going to do this. There's no harm in planning ahead, am I right? And from Amy. Just wanted to thank you for the service the other month, and I apologize if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock for me. I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. And then this one. From Manuel Scott. Disregard our son's will as it concerns matters of his burial. He was clearly not thinking right and didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check. Charlie, I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront this situation. Yet, anyways, they're never easy. Rose and Daughters has been asked to prepare the body of a young man who took his own life. Whoa. He had a will prepared and asked for cremation, but the family has demanded traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney, or didn't have any witnesses sign his living will, or his advanced directive regarding those wishes, so his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as his family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take this on if you're uncomfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare for a funeral we're hosting later this afternoon. Charlie, is this suicide something you're comfortable dealing with? No, I'm not comfortable. I'll deal with this body instead. Ask for an open casket funeral. Let's start by cleaning the body. Sponges. Oh, I really hate this part. The breaking the rigor mortis. It is super obnoxious on my trackpad, and I don't think that is what the game's creators intended. Eye caps. Yeah. Glue. Boop, boop. Cotton balls. I still don't understand how the sewing the jaw closed things work. Like, I feel like you must be able to see this. Or I guess they could sew from the inside of the mouth. And moisturize the body. Make an incision in the neck. This is exactly the same as the other one. I wonder if I chose the other one, if stuff would have changed. Okay, the thingy, more tubing. Yep, turn on the embalming machine. Do more. Oh, this bit is super terrible to do. Hope I don't have to do it as much as last time. Nope, looks like I do. Yep. Diagonally. So, I have not seen very many dead bodies in my life. I have seen bodies in museums. So, for example, in the UK, there's a lot of, like, Egyptian mummies and things like that in some of the museums that I've been to. And then I have seen, I guess, like, very old skeletons and stuff in some places as well. Does that count as a dead body? And then the other ones, the ones that look more human, I guess, than skeletons or mummies, I have seen 3 dead communist leaders. Dictators? Leaders? I don't know. Not all dictators. Leaders. So I saw Lenin when I was in Moscow years ago. And then I saw Mao in Beijing. And I saw Ho Chi Minh in, I think it's Hanoi? There. And so my ranking of these, I decided this a long time ago, I don't really remember them, is that Lenin was the most interesting one, though maybe that was just because it was the first one I saw. And Mao was looked very strange, and seemed to weirdly, no, it's this thing over here. I feel like you could buy tourist stuff, like souvenirs, in the mausoleum, which is really weird. I don't know. It's a strange thing. I'm sure there's other mausoleums around as well. Okay. Mike will take care of the makeup as well as dressing and putting in the casket. Cool. Well, this one's basically just identical to the previous one I did. It seems kind of weird. Okay, let's talk to those folks. Where is Maria? She couldn't be here. She didn't want to see her mother's body. I mean, I don't blame her. Anyway, I'm pretty impressed with the food. Did you try the amaretti? I don't know what amaretti is. Should I know what amaretti is? And the final dead body that I can really think of, remember seeing. Well, I guess, it doesn't look like her at all. Was, a friend of mine in university died, and I went to the viewing for her. Quiet sobs, which was a really, very sad day. But I've been lucky in that I have not had a lot of people close to me die in my life. I haven't cried since she died, not once. How is Anna crying and not me? I'm the one who lost a parent. But connected to that is potentially that I grew up in a different continent than a lot of my relatives, so when my grandmother died, I did not go to her funeral, because it was very far away. She's no longer suffering or in pain. Yeah, that's not the right thing to say. She's in a better place. Oh, this person is saying all the bad things. Okay, thanks, Aunt Sandy. Yeah, Aunt Sandy, you're bad at funerals. March 3rd. I think this will be the last day that I do in this stream. Different funeral traditions from Funerals Monthly. Different protocols for cleaning the body. Religion provides different paths for dealing with death. In Judaism, it usually begins after someone has passed. Up until the body is never supposed to be alone. There's a guardian. Preparation for burial as soon as possible in Muslim traditions. In the aughts in South Korea, the amount of graveyard space began to shrink drastically, causing a law to be passed that required families to remove a loved one's body from its burial place after 60 years. Many families began to cremate more often. And there are companies that compress remains into beads. Ever heard of turning the bones, or famadihana, a ritual of the Malagasy people of Madagascar? Has families return to an ancestral crypt, exhume the bodies wrapped in cloth before dancing with the bodies to lively music. That's really weird to me, but yeah, different cultures have different ways of dealing with death. Death can be a difficult time for many people. Doesn't mean there isn't a beauty in the way we chose to honor and celebrate ourselves. Okay. And then Death Cafe. Come increase awareness of death with a view to helping people make the most of their finite lives. Join us, have tea and cake, and talk with others about our thoughts, fears, and illuminations on death. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, once said, when people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity. From Jen Love. Can't write much now. I have a lot of work I have to do with with a hernia from 1750. It's the oldest in our collection, and you can even see this bit of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have it cataloged. Didn't expect to read about cataloging things in this game. What is my life? What is that sentence I just typed? But anyway, this event that I'm forwarding to you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with the feeling of restlessness you were talking about before. Could be good to talk about some of the things you're feeling. Lots of death-positive people there. Sounds like it'd be a safe place. What the hell, from Matthew Jeffrey. Can I just say, first off, that this is bullcrap. Knowing that these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. Okay. No, okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all of your business for so long. This isn't 6 feet under. And they just swooped in, and now we have to deal with this BS practices. They're colder than the corpse I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitative. Let's grab a drink after work. I need to blow off some steam, and emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. Too late for me, I guess. If you're reading this over, Hillside Overlord, good. And then, so how much are they charging? Hillside Heritage. Yep, Hillside Heritage, serving 56 different communities nationwide since 1964. Rely on dedicated and friendly staff. Our services, ask about our selection of caskets, urns, and headstones, the largest in the country. That's terrifying. Bronze funeral package. Okay, 25 to 50 people. Silver funeral package, 50 to 100. Gold for groups over 100. I can't imagine having that, people. No prices on the site, but I guess they're in here somewhere. We are pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of Hillside Heritage Enterprise Inc. They will be another institution among hundreds of other properties across the country. Oh, capitalism. There will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. We will send out the memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes, and we expect them to be followed impeccably. Blah. Okay, Chad Grant, you kind of suck. Okay, and what is the email? Cremation. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, well, it was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and to be honest, I don't think I could bear seeing her like that after what happened. Charlotte, below are the details of our next client. Ensure you follow the requested specifications exactly. After you're done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate at the end of the month. Yeah, you're pretty corporate. Okay, prepare the body for cremation. Let's take the watch off. Place the identification tag in here. And all set to be cremated. That was an easy one to do. Easy. Now let's go use the cremulator and crush up some bones. This game is so weird. Urn in the cremulator. Bones in the cremulator. Bone 1. Bone 2. Skull. The urn back in the counter. Put the watch in the urn. This in the urn. And this here as well. All done. Okay. Now let's go out to the funeral and talk to some folks. Should we do a vigil at the spot? Careless drivers, I swear to God. She was always so careful. Wore her helmet, signaled, used the bike lanes. Asshole drivers, they need to pay attention. Have you heard what happened to the driver? No, I haven't wanted to ask Leah. This has been hard enough on them, without asking about the legal ramifications of all this. Yeah, after all this, let's see what we can do to help them. Shouldn't deal with the death of their partner all by themselves. So glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body. I have to go through all her things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If you need help, I can help. No thanks, I mean, but I don't know. It's so intimate. It feels like I should do it myself. It would kill me if others saw the things we have. She was kind of a closed book, except to you. Yeah, she was special. I'm glad I'm here, but wow, I just need a glass of wine and to binge watch something right now. This game is like really well made, but also a bummer. Okay, I think that's enough for now. I'm not sure how much longer this game is, but I don't. It's been about an hour, so I'm going to stop. So yeah. Oh, this one. Hi. So yeah, like I said before, the podcast is called Book Club for Masochists. We read a different genre every month and talk about it on the podcast. You can find us on all of the podcast places, or you can go to bookclub4m.com and find the podcast there. And our episode about visual novels will be out in September, and I'm probably going to talk about this game. If you like it, you should check it out. You can get it on itch.io. There'll be a link in the doobly-doo underneath if you are on YouTube, and check it out. So thanks for stopping by this stream, and have a great rest of your day.